Kala lalo hawala Yahweh ba Hashem Shai ba Hashem Kakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that rule and teach well. Peace and salutations to the brothers and the four corners of this earth, pushing the sword and truth and in sincerity, risking their lives more now so that never to do so. But I'm not as okay with a quick impromptu. I saw this article posted by a brother and I say, you know what I mean, I go chime in on it because what people don't realize is that things getting harder slowly but surely, right? So let me go through the article and we get some precepts. Usual, you know what I mean? Usual flow. It says, let's bear with me 1 second here, you know? Get some brightness. Right. So this article from our local paper, the Daily Express, right? It says, Rise of the New Poor. NGOs warn poverty spread into working families. Working meaning what? Working class. Right? It says, poverty in Trinidad and Tobago is spreading beyond the usual vulnerable groups and is now affecting working families who are struggling to stay afloat. Groups like the Children's Ark and Glimmer of Hope, they are seeing the rise of the new poor. People with jobs who still cannot make ends meet. This is not something new. Right? It's just becoming more prominent. So if people realizing, hey, but people with jobs coming and, asking for charity, so on and so forth. Right? There's not something new. You know what I mean? So in my case, my mom was part of the middle working class, I suppose. But we was poor. We wasn't rich. By no stretch of the imagination. We wasn't well off. You know what I mean? We was poor. And only until I come into the truth, I grasp the reason why. You know what I mean? Because hey, there's the truth. We couldn't fight it no matter what we do. You know what I mean? Everything was, as I say, paycheck to paycheck. Nothing in the reserves, you know. Right? It's after years of helping families in need, both organizations told the Sunday Express that while relief efforts remain important, charity alone will not solve the crisis. According to the Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative 2025, 0.5 of citizens in TNT are classified as multidimensionally poor, but nearly 39% are vulnerable to falling into poverty. Right, so half the population, 0.5 is half, right? Right. So I don't know how to, guys, I don't do no maths today. You know I'm not good in maths. I ain't doing no maths today, right? It says, but nearly 39% of that 0.5% are vulnerable to falling into poverty. Alright, I suppose multidimensionally poor is paycheck to paycheck. You know what? We could Google it. We Google it. You see what it's saying here on the World Wide Web. Multidimensionally poor. Search. It says being multidimensionally poor means experiencing at the same time multiple interrelated deprivation such as poor health, lack of education, unsafe housing, or okay. So yeah, so you're not living in poverty, you're poor, so alright. So like you might have opportunity to go away and study, but you can't do it because why? Funds, something like that along them lines. So yeah, basically I was multi-dimensionally poor growing up, I suppose, by that definition. Right, they say vulnerability is slightly higher in urban areas at 40.1% than at 6.6% in rural areas, reflecting the rising cost of living in cities. Look at that major fucking difference. That is a whole lot. 6 from 40 is 34. So let me say 31% difference. Not 31, sorry, 32. So like, right? In a telephone interview yesterday with the Sunday Express, president of the Children's Act, Simone de la Bastide, said estimates place the poverty rate in TNT between 13 and 18 with children, or 13 without and 18 with, disproportionately affected. She said the Children's Act is seeing a noticeable shift in who is seeking help. A percentage of the middle-income families are also struggling due to the lack of secure jobs and the higher cost of living today. Let's face it, everything goes up but salaries, which is true. And what did I say? What did I say with the whole conflict in Iran? The rise of oil is going to raise what? Everything. So the cost of living just will getting higher. And the higher the cost of living, alright, Delabati said. So she said as more families are affected by poverty, children are most vulnerable. Children are notably innocent and vulnerable in very many ways. Trust is embedded in them until abuse and other heinous crimes are committed against them, impeding their mental growth and behavior. Chronic stress kicks in, whereby depression and major health issues are created, spawning long-term serious consequences, she said. She said it's evident that the children are living in an unstable and healthy environment whereby there is no there is no father present, perhaps a single mother with several children would be catastrophic for the children and the family altogether. Well, that's what I grew up in, so it I turned out fine. So I know. Right. Della Bastide related, and over 25 years she has come across countless children either struggling in a crowded, modest, unsafe one-room structure or living on the streets and in children's homes, some of whom are still being abused physically and mentally. Alright. I will go take from the concept. I will go take from the concept, from the article. Alright. I won't go down and say too much for that. I know they're going into the whole well, poverty affecting children. So yeah. Now we go to the precepts. Alright. First precept first, Proverbs 22 and 9. 22 and 9. 29 and 2. Alright, that makes it up. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people want to mourn. And we know the wicked in rule. I just see a brother post a video in Trinidad and Tobago, Little America. So we know who rule in here. Who rules America? Esau Edom. So who rule in here? Esau Edom, same way. They might be the face of it down here. Right? Because they have a Elam as the prime minister, but still, we know it ain't Jake. Right? We know it's not Jake. Jake's for certain. And we could see it in the communities, in everyday life. We could see it in things. And I mean, we used to be able to afford compared to now we can't. You know? All this creates what? Dependency on what? The government. Think about it. You know what I mean? The Isaiah 30 and 31. 1 to 3 each chapter. Right? Going down to Egypt for help. That is what it could cause. That will cause a major shift in depending on Egypt, on this system, this kingdom. You will want this kingdom to succeed because this will be your only claim to life. Your only cling to life. You know? And that is the concept. That is right where they want here because we already so dependent on them. Right? Now we even more dependent. Think about it like that. So anything they offer, what people will run to it. Just like the juice. Times when people was frightened. What they do, they say, hey, take this thing here and you'll get to go back outside. But you could still get sick if you take it. They say that like 2 weeks after, the majority of people take it. Hey, watch people just so fucking coward. I bring up Preceptor, man. I bring up Preceptor, man. People just so coward by spirit of New Testament. New Testament. Is it 2 Timothy 1 and 7? It says, for power hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind, boy. Sound, steady foundation we have. That's why you see, man, the Lord didn't work. We didn't run and go and take no juice, boy. We lost our jobs. We were down and out for a while. But we still out here swinging. We still out here batting. Right? Because we don't have that fear for this place. We don't have this. We not built with that fear of losing life. It is what it is. We stand firm by we want to be in the vision edge dress, so with the young men being crowned by a man taller in stature, a young man taller in stature. Right? He asked the angel, who are these? He just said, what? These are they that stood stiffly for the name, boy. Roughly paraphrasing, yeah, that is where we want to be. That is where we want to be, boy. We don't have no spirit of fear. So let the prices rise. Let government create more dependency on themselves. Alright? Let it happen. I was watching a video recently, late last week, I think. But today's Wednesday, yeah, it should be late last week. And they was talking about how a certain entity in the country, the government borrow money under a certain name of a company in the country, which means the company is liable to something, and it's like a real loophole, kind of backdoor, kind of like on paper it's legal, but in the reality, you're shafting the citizens, this kind of way. I know when government borrowing is not no 100,000 they borrowing, right? So I was like, what? And the person breaking it along the video was like, so if the government changes, the new government will still have to be paying off this debt. The citizens will be paying this off for more or less decades or something like that, right? But people would turn a blind eye to that because why? Because the time are living so flipping hard, and they do even and some people don't even guess how hard it is until it until by look at this next piece of second. It's just 15 on, is it 22 or 20? I think it's 20. Uh, mm-hmm. Alright, it's not that, it's not that. 16. And 21. Second Ezra 16 and 21, it said, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Yeah, you study hard, get a degree. When on paper you making 10,000 a month, but you can see where the money went. You still living paycheck to paycheck. You want to know about how you making all this and yet still. And when you sit down and put pen to paper, you realize, bro, you're fucking doomed. That's how some people not realizing it because them living in a cycle where, right, one or the end of the month is X amount of money, I this to pay, that to pay, mortgage, loan, car thing, this, whatever, whatever. So, you know what I mean? Do you think the self to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow up on it? Because what the government doing is an evil thing, like, be real. They don't know righteous thing, they don't know righteous act. The wicked in rules, so what you feel the wicked go do not wickedly? The wicked won't do wickedness. The wicked can't do righteousness, by, you know? So the reason the poverty line, separating the country, rich and poor. That is it. Eradicating the middle class. That is exactly what they're doing, eradicating it to create that level of dependency on the fucking government. So the issuing the digital fucking currency or the and then the MOTB, it go seem like what? Order through chaos. Order of chaos. Look at that. And the men of the Lord see that, but the rest of what? The rest are blinded, right? Alright, so I hope it was edifying, I hope it's food for thought among the Akim. Watching and listening. Until next time. To the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yashai Hashem Kakodash. Until next time.